The massive colony ship Asterisk, New Horizon Asterisk, stood tall at the launch pad. Thousands of people gathered to watch it leave for the stars. This was humanity's first real step into space beyond our solar system. Captain Da-hyun Kim looked up at the ship with pride. After years of work, humans would finally reach another star. "Countdown begins in 30 minutes, said a voice over the speakers. Da-hyun nodded. As head of security for the launch, he felt the weight of responsibility. 5,000 people would soon board that ship to start a new life around Proxima Centauri. The crowd gasped suddenly. Da-hyun looked up to see why. A bright light appeared in the sky. It grew larger by the second. The light was not a meteor or a plane. It moved with purpose. "Captain Kim, we have an unknown object entering Earth's atmosphere," said his radio. "It's huge, and it's heading straight for the launch site." Da-hyun grabbed his binoculars. The object was sleek and silver, unlike any ship humans had built. It was alien. "Stop the countdown. Get the United Council here now," he ordered. 2 hours later, Da-hyun stood in the emergency meeting room with the 12 members of Earth's United Council. The alien ship now hovered silently above the launch site. "They've sent a message," said Council President Yuna. "They want to talk." A beam of light appeared in the center of the room. When it faded, a tall figure stood there. It had pale blue skin, 4 arms, and large black eyes. It wore a silver uniform with strange symbols. "I am Thor, ambassador of the Talon Empire," it said in perfect English. "I bring you a warning." Lieutenant Ju Park, the chief language expert, stepped forward with her translation device. "How are you speaking our language?" she asked. "We have studied you for decades," Thor replied. "We know all Earth languages." Da-hyun noticed Juwoo's eyes narrow. She tapped something into her device. Thor turned to the council. "The Talon Empire rules this sector of the galaxy. We have watched your species develop. You may keep your planet and solar system, but you must go no further." "Why?" asked President Yuna. "Expanding species bring war and destruction. This is not allowed. The ship you built must be destroyed. No human may travel to another star." The room erupted in angry voices. Da-hyun watched Juwoo carefully. She was still analyzing the alien's words with her device. "And if we refuse?" President Yuna asked. Zor's black eyes showed no emotion. "Then your world will be cleansed. We have destroyed more advanced civilizations than yours." After Ktor left, the council argued fiercely. Most wanted to give in to the aliens' demands. Humanity could not fight an empire that traveled between stars. Juwoo approached Da-hyun quietly. "Captain, I found something strange in the aliens' speech patterns." "What is it?" "The way Exor speaks doesn't match his claims. Some of his threats use borrowed phrases from our own military language. It's like he's copying us, not speaking from experience." Dr. Hyasu Kang, head of the Interstellar Initiative, joined them. "We can't give up everything we've worked for because of threats," she said. "But we also can't risk Earth," Da-hyun replied. Hyasu smiled. "What if we do both? We tell them we agree, and then we continue in secret." Later that day, the council announced to the Talons that Earth would obey their demands. The Asterisk New Horizon Asterisk would be dismantled. Humans would stay in their solar system. But in a small, secure room beneath the launch facility, Da-hyun, Juwoo, and Hyasu met with a select group from the council. "We need ships that can't be detected," said Da-hyun. "And we need to learn more about these Talons." Hyasu nodded. "I'll start work on stealth technology. I'll analyze everything we know about their language and technology," Juwoo added. President Yuna looked at them all. "Remember, as far as the public knows, our dreams of the stars are over. But in truth, they've only just begun." Da-hyun looked out the small window at the alien ship still hovering above. "They think they've stopped us," he said quietly. "But they've only made us more determined." 5 years had passed since the Talons warned humanity to stay in their solar system. On the outside, Earth obeyed. The colony ship had been taken apart in public view. The Talon ship left Earth orbit, but everyone knew they were still watching. Commander Jun Ryu stood on the bridge of the Shadow Reach Asterisk, a ship that didn't officially exist. It was humanity's newest stealth vessel, hidden inside what looked like a normal mining ship. "Status report," Jun said. "We're ready to jump, Commander," his pilot answered. "Stealth systems are working perfectly. No sign of Talon scanners picking us up." Jun nodded. "Take us out." The Shadow Reach Asterisk slipped away from the asteroid mining operation that served as its cover. Once clear, it activated its jump drive. The stars blurred and they were gone, headed for a planet 30 light-years from Earth. 3 days later, they arrived at Novaterra, humanity's fourth secret colony. From orbit, it looked empty, but hidden under the thick forest canopy were 3,000 people building a new home. Jun took a shuttle down to the surface. Engineer Sunwoo Lee met him at the landing pad. "Commander, I need to show you something right away," Sunwoo said. They walked through the small colony to a new dig site. The colonists had been building foundations for a power plant when they found something buried in the ground. "We didn't put it there," Sunwoo explained as they entered a tent covering the dig. "It was already here." In the center of the dig was a metal object unlike anything Jun had seen before. It was clearly not natural, with smooth curves and strange symbols. "Alien technology," Jun whispered. "Yes, but not Talon," Sunwoo replied. "The material and design are completely different." Scientist Mina Bug joined them. She had been studying the object for 2 days. "It's some kind of data storage device," she explained. "And it's not the only thing we found." Mina led them to a table where more objects were laid out carefully. Some looked like tools, others like parts of machines. "I've compared these to the scans we have of Talon technology," Mina said. "The Talons are using designs that came from these objects, but their versions are not as advanced." Jun picked up one of the smaller items. "You're saying the Talons didn't make their own technology?" "They copied it," Mina confirmed. "And not very well. It's like they found someone else's tools and figured out some of how they work, but not all." Sunwoo pointed to a larger piece. "This has power systems far beyond what the Talons showed us. If they had this level of technology, they wouldn't need ships the size they use." Jun immediately called Earth. Dr. Hyasu Kang's face appeared on the screen when the encrypted message went through. "We found something, Doctor," Jun said. "The Talons may not be as powerful as they want us to think." Over the next month, more colonies reported similar findings. On planet Area, colonists found an entire buried city of non-Talon origin. On Nexus, they discovered what appeared to be an ancient battle site with weapons far more advanced than Talon ships. Back on Earth, in the secret base beneath what was now a museum about humanity's abandoned space dreams, Da-hyun Kim studied the reports from all colonies. "The Talons lie to us," he told Juwoo Park. "They're not the rulers of this sector. They're scavengers." Juwoo had spent years studying Talon language from the limited samples they had. Their speech patterns showed signs of borrowed phrases. Now we know why. Their entire empire might be built on stolen technology and false claims. Dr. Hyasu Kang entered with new plans. "I've been analyzing the data from Novaterra. If we can understand this original technology, we might be able to create weapons and ships the Talons can't match." Da-hyun, now an admiral, smiled for the first time in years. "It's time to expand our operation. We need to find out just how far the Talon influence really goes, and what other species might be out there," Juwoo added. "Possibly ones who also resent Talon rule." The humans looked at each other. What had begun as a desperate plan to continue colonization had become something more. They weren't just surviving the Talon ban. They were preparing to challenge it. Dr. Hyasu Kang hadn't slept for 2 days. Her lab on Earth was filled with holographic images of the alien artifacts found on the colonies. Her team had been working nonstop to understand the technology. "I think I've got it," she said, pointing to a set of symbols. These match patterns we found on 3 different planets. They're not just random designs. They're a language. Her assistant nodded. But not Talon language. No, this is much older. Haisu brought up a new image. And look at this. The power systems in these devices are at least 10 times more advanced than what the Talons showed us. A call came in from Admiral Dahyun Kim. His face appeared on the main screen. He looked tired but excited. Dr. Kang, we've received new intelligence. The Talon home fleet just left their main base. Most of their ships are heading to the outer rim of their territory. Why? Haisu asked. We don't know yet, but it's the perfect time for us to get closer and see what their empire really looks like. 3 days later, Commander Juu Park stood on the bridge of Earth's most advanced stealth ship, the Silent Hunter *. She had been promoted from her role as a language expert to lead this mission. Her ship was heading straight for the edge of what they believed was Talon space. Keep all stealth systems at maximum, she ordered. We don't want to be the first humans the Talons catch. The Silent Hunter * moved quietly through the darkness of space. They passed empty systems and then, finally, found signs of life. Commander, we're picking up artificial structures on the 4th planet, her sensor officer reported. On the view screen, they could see a small world with green oceans and red land. In orbit around it were stations that looked nothing like Talon design. Are there Talons down there? Juu asked. No, ma'am. The life signs are completely different, but we are detecting Talon technology on the surface, mostly weapons. Juu's eyes narrowed. They've conquered this world. Let's get closer. They watched the planet for 2 days. Juu saw how the local species moved carefully around the few Talons present. They weren't partners. They were prisoners. The Talons only have a small force here, Juu told her crew. Just enough to keep control. Their empire must be spread thin. On the 3rd day, they detected a small ship leaving the planet in secret. It was trying to hide, much like their own ship. They're running from the Talons. Juu said, let's follow them. The alien ship led them to an asteroid field. There, hidden among the rocks, was a small base. The ship's sensors showed dozens of different alien life forms inside. It's a resistance, Juu realized. These species are fighting against Talon rule. Making a bold decision, Juu sent a message to the base. At first, there was no response. Then a face appeared on the screen. It belonged to a reptilian being with golden scales and 4 eyes. I am Juu Park of Earth, she said. We too have been threatened by the Talons. The alien studied her for a long moment. I am Krell of the Vex. How did you find us? We followed a ship from the planet. We mean no harm. We want to learn about the Talons. Krell laughed, a strange hissing sound. The mighty Talons. They are not what they claim to be. Their great empire consists of only 12 conquered worlds. They use fear to control others, making everyone believe they are more powerful than they are. Juu felt a surge of hope. We found technology on our colony worlds. Technology that seems older than the Talons. Yes, Krell nodded. The Talons found the ruins of the Ancient Ones. They took what they could understand and used it to conquer worlds like mine. But they understand only a fraction of what the Ancient Ones knew. Will you share what you know about their weaknesses? Juu asked. Krell's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. You wish to fight them. Interesting. Perhaps we should talk more, humans of Earth. Back on Earth, Admiral Kim received Juu's report with growing excitement. The Talons were not the unstoppable force they had pretended to be. They were bullies who had found better weapons than others and used them to intimidate. It's time, he told Dr. Kang. Time to prepare our response. Admiral Dahyun Kim stood in the command center of Shadowpoint Base. The secret facility was hidden in a dense asteroid field between Talon space and human territory. Around him, hundreds of people worked at their stations. Show me the progress on the fleet, he said. A large hologram appeared, showing ships under construction. They didn't look like normal human vessels. They combined human design with technology learned from the ancient artifacts. "We have 15 battleships ready," said the officer next to him. 10 more will be complete in 3 months. Da Hyun nodded. "And the weapon systems?" Commander Jun Ryu stepped forward with a tablet. "Better than we hoped. The energy cannons are 5 times more powerful than anything the Talons showed us, and our shields can absorb their weapon fire for 3 minutes before failing." In another part of the base, Sun Wooly directed robots as they modified colony ships. The ships that once carried people to new worlds were now being turned into war vessels. "Add the stealth plating here," he told his team, pointing to a section of hull. "And make sure the weapon ports can open quickly. We need to be able to fire without warning." Sun Wu had studied the ancient technology for years now. He understood it better than anyone except Dr. Kang. The Talons never figured out how to properly use the power cores. He explained to a group of engineers, "They're wasting at least half the energy. We won't make that mistake." Meanwhile, in a secure meeting room, diplomat Yin So-han sat with 3 alien visitors. Krell of the Vex was there, along with a glowing crystalline being from the Luminar species, and a tall, slender alien who kept a water mask over their face, one of the aquatic Ithri. "Our alliance must work together perfectly," Yun Seo said. "Each of our species has suffered under Talon rule. Each has different strengths to offer." The Luminar's crystalline body shimmered as it spoke. "My people can provide energy technology. We have hidden our best developments from the Talons for generations. The Vex will contribute our knowledge of Talon patrol routes and defense systems," Krell added. "We have spies on 7 Talon worlds." The Ithri spoke last, voice bubbling through the water mask. "My people will provide our fleet. We built ships in secret beneath our oceans where Talon scanners cannot reach." Yum Seo smiled. "Together with human weapons and stealth technology, we can end Talon dominance forever." Dr. Hyasu Kang worked in her lab with Minna Baek. They had finally cracked the code of the ancient technology. "The power source is simply amazing," Haisu said. "It draws energy from subspace itself. That's why it never runs out." Minna nodded as she tested a small device. "And look at this shield generator. It's small enough to fit in your hand, but can protect an entire room from energy weapons." "The Talons only figured out the basics," Haisu said. "They never understood the principles behind the technology. We do." Across human space, preparations continued in secret. On Earth, people still believed they were confined to the solar system. Only a select few knew the truth. Then came the day they all feared. A Talon patrol ship discovered a human mining operation near the edge of their territory. The humans tried to escape, but the Talons caught them. Admiral Kim received the emergency signal. "They found one of our operations," he told his officers. "The Talons will realize we've been expanding." Juwoo Park, who had returned from her mission weeks earlier, stood beside him. "What do we do?" "We can't hide anymore," Da Hyun said. "The Talons will come in force now. They'll try to punish us as they promised." He looked around at his command staff, then at the hologram showing their secret fleet. "Send word to all our colonies and allies," he ordered. "It's time to show the Talons what humans can really do." Across the stars, the message went out. The human allied fleet began to move into position. After years of preparation, the response to the Talon threat was about to begin. The Talon attack came without warning. 5 large warships appeared near Earth's moon and fired their weapons. The moon base, home to 3,000 people, erupted in explosions. Within minutes, half the base was destroyed. "They're showing us what happens when we disobey," Admiral Da Hyun Kim said grimly as he watched the footage. "This is just the beginning." Earth's public defenses fired back, but their weapons couldn't penetrate Talon shields. People across Earth panicked. They had been told for years that humans were following Talon orders to stay in the solar system. Now they were under attack anyway. "It's time," Admiral Kim said into his secure communication device. "Launch the fleet." Across human space, hidden ships emerged from their secret bases. On Earth, President Yuna addressed the people. Citizens of Earth, today we face the Talon threat. But we are not helpless, and we are not alone. For years, we have prepared in secret. Today, we fight back. The first battle took place in the Arcturus system. Commander Juwu Park led a group of 5 human battleships against 3 Talon cruisers. The Talons expected an easy victory. They were wrong. Hold position until they're in range. Juwu ordered her ships. Let them think we're weak. The Talons approached, weapons charging. When they were close enough, Juwu gave the order. Drop stealth shields. All ships, fire. Energy beams shot out from the human ships, striking the lead Talon cruiser. Its shields flickered and failed under the unexpected power of the attack. Target their engines, not their core, Juwu ordered. We want their ship disabled, not destroyed. Precision shots hit the Talon flagship. Its engines died, leaving it floating in space. The other 2 Talon ships turned to retreat, shocked by the humans' advanced weapons. Pursue but don't destroy, Juwu said. Let them run home and tell their leaders what happened. On the Vex homeworld, a different battle raged. Human ships fought alongside Vex fighters, pushing back the small Talon occupation force. The planet had been under Talon control for 50 years. In one day, they were freed. Krell stood in the ruins of the Talon command center, his scaled skin gleaming in the sunlight. My world is free, he said to the human captain beside him. Now we help free others. News of the Vex liberation spread quickly to other conquered worlds. Species that had lived in fear of the Talons began to rebel. The Empire was facing attacks from all sides. During the battle for the Luminar Crystal World, a young human pilot named Jia Quan became a legend. 3 Talon cruisers had surrounded a transport ship carrying Luminar refugees. With her single fighter, Jia flew directly at the lead cruiser. 1 human ship against 3 of ours. The Talon commander laughed. They are brave but foolish. But Jia's fighter had been modified with ancient technology that the Talons had never mastered. She fired special missiles that passed right through the Talon shields as if they weren't there. Impossible, the Talon commander shouted as his systems failed around him. Jia disabled all 3 cruisers, saving the refugee ship. Stories of her bravery spread across the stars. Back on Earth, Admiral Kim watched as reports came in from battles throughout Talon space. We've won 12 engagements, his officer reported. Lost only 3. The Talon forces are retreating everywhere. They never expected real resistance, Dahyun said. They thought their technology made them unbeatable. But there's something they don't understand about humans. What's that, sir? The officer asked. When you tell us we can't do something, we work even harder to prove you wrong. The first week of war was going better than anyone had hoped, but Dahyun knew the Talons wouldn't give up easily. They had ruled through fear for too long. When cornered, they would fight desperately. Prepare the next phase, he ordered. It's time to take the fight to their core worlds. Dr. Mina Bake looked at herself in the mirror. Her human features were gone. The special mask and skin dye made her look like one of the blue-skinned Ithri, a species that served the Talons. She practiced the shuffling walk of a servant one more time. The disguise is perfect, said Commander Juwu Park. But are you sure about this mission? It's extremely dangerous. We need to know how the Talon command system works, Mina replied. And I'm the only one who has studied their technology enough to understand it. The plan was simple but risky. Mina would infiltrate a Talon command center on their 4th largest world. She would pose as an Ithri servant, a position that made her almost invisible to the proud Talons. 2 days later, Mina walked through the gleaming corridors of the Talon command center. No one looked twice at her. Talon officers passed by, ignoring the servant carrying cleaning supplies. But inside her cleaning cart were hidden scanning devices. As she cleaned the main control room, she secretly placed tiny sensors on key equipment. Each one sent data back to her hidden receiver. The command protocols are flowing through, She whispered into her hidden communicator. Their entire network is built on a single frequency. That's why they can coordinate so well across space. Can we disrupt it? Asked Juwoo's voice in her ear. Yes, Minna said as she emptied a trash bin. If we broadcast on exactly the right frequency, we could block all their communications at once. Back at the human fleet, Yum Seo-han met with representatives from the Marduv, a powerful species that had so far stayed neutral in the war. The Mardoth were tall with 6 arms and skin that changed color with their emotions. We do not wish to join your fight against the Talons, said the Mardoth leader, skin turning a deep blue. But we also will not help them against you. That's all we ask, Yunseo replied. Your neutrality is valuable to us. This was a diplomatic victory. The Mardoth could have tipped the balance toward the Talons. Now they would stand aside. Meanwhile, Commander Sun Woo Lee led a team of engineers in developing a new weapon. They had studied Talon ship designs captured in battle. Their shields work by creating a bubble of energy around their ships, Sun Woo explained to Admiral Kim. But we found a flaw. If we send a specific signal pattern, it confuses the shield generators. A virus for their shields, Admiral Kim said with approval. Exactly. We can shut down their defenses with a single transmission. The war was no longer just about ships and weapons. It was a battle of minds and information. Humans were proving better at adapting and finding new solutions. But the Talons still had one advantage. Their empire, while smaller than they claimed, was still spread across many worlds. They had resources to draw on, and they were growing desperate. Reports came in from Novaterra, one of the first human colonies. The Talons had released a terrible bioweapon on the planet. Thousands were sick. Hundreds had died already. Among the survivors was Doyen Choi, a young farmer. He was brought to Earth to tell this story to the United Council. They came without warning, Doyen said, his voice weak from the sickness. He had barely survived. A single ship dropped canisters into our atmosphere. The air turned green. People started coughing blood within hours. His testimony was broadcast across human space. Any doubts about fighting the Talons vanished. The Talons had shown they would use any means to win. We can't hold back anymore, Admiral Kim told his officers. It's time for a direct assault on their central command. The plans were drawn up. All the intelligence they had gathered would be put to use. Dr. Minabek's discovery of the command frequency, Sun Woo Lee's shield virus, and the combined fleets of humans and their allies. The Talons think they can scare us into giving up, Admiral Kim said. They don't understand what they've done. They've only made us more determined to end their rule once and for all. Admiral Da-hyun Kim stood on the bridge of his flagship, the Defiance *. Around him, officers prepared for the biggest battle of the war. On the main screen, he could see the Talon Central Command Station. It was massive, easily 10 times the size of any human station. All ships report ready, Admiral, said his communications officer. Da-hyun nodded. Begin Operation Daybreak. The human allied fleet moved forward. 200 ships from Earth, plus another 100 from the Vex, Luminar, and Ithri forces. They faced over 300 Talon vessels protecting the command station. First wave, engage, Da-hyun ordered. Commander Jun Ryu led the first attack group in his ship, the Valiant Asterisk. His vessels fired special missiles designed by Sun Woo Lee. These missiles didn't explode. Instead, they released the shield virus. Shield disruptors are working, Jun reported. Talon frontline defenses are down by 60%. The battle quickly became intense. Talon ships, even with weakened shields, fought hard. Energy beams and missiles crossed the blackness of space. Ships on both sides exploded in silent bursts of fire. While the main battle raged, Commander Juwoo Park led a small team on a critical mission. They flew in stealth shuttles, slipping past the fighting toward the command station. Stay on course, Juwoo told her pilots. No matter what happens out there, we must reach the station. Inside her pocket was a small device created by Dr. Minabek. It could broadcast the special frequency that would disrupt all Talon communications. The stealth shuttles reached the station undetected. Juwoo's team docked at an emergency airlock. They wore armor that made them look like Talon security forces. "Remember, we have 20 minutes to reach the central core," Juwoo said it as they moved through the station corridors. They encountered few Talons. Most were busy with the battle. Those they did meet barely glanced at what they thought were their own security teams. Meanwhile, in the main battle, Junryu's flagship took heavy damage. "Admiral, the Valiant is hit badly," reported Dahyun's officer. On the screen, they could see Jun's ship burning from multiple hits. Talon forces had concentrated fire on the Valiant, recognizing it as a command vessel. "All ships provide cover for the Valiant, Dahyun ordered. But it was too late. A massive explosion tore through Jun's ship. The bridge was destroyed instantly. "No life signs from the command deck," the officer said quietly. Dahyun closed his eyes for a moment. Jun had been his friend for many years. "Continue the attack," he said. "We must give Commander Park's team the time they need." Inside the station, Juwoo's team reached the central core. It was a vast room filled with glowing equipment. In the center was a column of pulsing blue light. "That's their main communication hub," said one of her team members. "It connects all Talon forces across their empire." Juwoo took out Mina's device. "Let's see how they handle being cut off from each other." She activated the device and placed it directly on the communication hub. The blue light flickered, then turned red, then began to pulse irregularly. "It's working," Juwoo said. "Let's get out of here." Across the battlefield, Talon ships suddenly began to move erratically. Their coordinated attack patterns fell apart. Ships fired in wrong directions or stopped firing altogether. "They're confused," Dahyun said. "Their central command system is down. They can't coordinate anymore." Though the Valiant was destroyed, Junryu had survived in an escape pod. He watched from a distance as the human fleet pressed their advantage against the disorganized Talons. "This is the turning point," he said to the others in the escape pod. "The Talons relied too much on their central command. Without it, they don't know how to fight." As the battle continued, 3 Talon battle groups did something unexpected. They moved away from the fighting and sent a message to the human fleet. "Admiral," said the communications officer, "they want to surrender." Dahyun was surprised. "Accept their surrender. Have Captain Ja Kwan's group escort them to the holding area." More Talon ships began to surrender. The great Talon Empire was breaking apart from within. "We're winning," Dahyun said quietly. "Now it's time to end this war at its source." Dr. Hyasu Kang studied the data files taken from the Talon command station. What she found shocked her. She immediately called an emergency meeting with Admiral Kim and the other leaders. "The Talons have been hiding something terrible," she said, showing images on the main screen. "These are labor camps on planets we didn't know about. They're using captured aliens as slaves to mine resources and build their ships." The images showed thousands of beings from different species working in harsh conditions. Many were thin and injured. "How many?" Admiral Kim asked quietly. "At least 5 planets with these camps. Maybe 50,000 prisoners in total." Maina Bake stood up. "We need to free them immediately." "I'll go," Sun Wooly offered. "I can lead a team to disable their security systems." Admiral Kim nodded. "Take whatever ships and people you meet. Those prisoners must be freed." While Sunwoo and Minna prepared their rescue mission, Admiral Kim and Commander Juwoo Park led the main fleet toward the Talon homeworld. The once mighty Talon forces were now scattered and disorganized. Many more had surrendered. "Their world is just ahead," Juwoo said as their ships approached a blue-green planet. "Sensors show they have planetary shields and defense weapons." "Send them our message," Admiral Kim ordered. The message was broadcast to the entire planet. "People of Talon, your fleet is defeated. Your command station is under our control. We offer you a chance to end this war peacefully. Send your high command to meet with us, or we will have no choice but to continue our attack." For hours, there was no response. Then a small ship left the planet. "They're coming to talk," Ju said, "but we should be careful. It could be a trap." The Talon leaders arrived on Admiral Kim's ship. They were tall with pale blue skin and black eyes, just like Exor, the ambassador who had threatened Earth years ago. But now they looked afraid. "You have defeated our forces," said the Talon leader, "but you do not understand our society. Most Talons know nothing about what our high command has done." "You mean the slave camps?" Admiral Kim asked. "Or the lies about your empire's size? Or the stolen technology you pretend is your own?" The Talon leaders looked shocked. "How do you know all this?" "We learned everything while you were busy trying to scare us," Ju replied. At that moment, something unexpected happened. A message came from the planet below. It wasn't from the military or the government. It was from ordinary Talon citizens. "This is the People's Council of Talon," said a female Talon on the screen. "We have just learned what our leaders have done. A high command lied to us for generations. They told us we were protecting the galaxy from dangerous species. Instead, they enslaved others and ruled through fear. We reject them. We open our shields and ask for peace." The high command leaders tried to speak, but guards took them away. On the Talon homeworld, citizens had risen up against their government when they learned the truth. The planetary shields were lowered from within. Meanwhile, Sun Wuli and Mina Baek completed their mission. All 5 prison planets were liberated. The freed prisoners told terrible stories about their treatment. "The Talons took us from our worlds," said one thin alien with gray skin. "They said we were being relocated for our safety. Instead, we became their workers. Many died in the mines." Eun Seo-han, the diplomat, worked day and night to create peace terms that were fair but firm. When she presented them to the new Talon People's Council, they readily agreed. "Your military will be disbanded," she told them. "Your empire is over, but your people will not be punished for the crimes of your leaders. You will join our new alliance as equals, not rulers." Admiral Kim watched from orbit as the Talon High Command was arrested by their own people. The empire that had once threatened to destroy Earth had fallen, not just to human weapons, but to truth. 5 years had passed since the end of the Talon War. Admiral Dahyun Kim, now retired, stood on the observation deck of Unity Station. The massive space station orbited a neutral point between Earth, the former Talon homeworld, and Vex Prime. From here, he could see ships from 17 different species coming and going peacefully. "Quite a change from when we first met the Talons," said Ju Park, who now wore the uniform of a Union fleet commander. "If they had simply offered friendship instead of threats, things might have been very different," Dahyun replied. Below them, in the Great Hall of the station, the Galactic Union Council was meeting. Representatives from all 17 member species sat together to discuss shared concerns. Among them were several reformed Talon states, now equal partners rather than rulers. Diplomat Eun Seo-han led the council sessions. Her skill at bringing different species together had made her the natural choice for first speaker of the Union. "The motion to establish new colony worlds in the Orion sector is approved," she announced. "All species may submit applications for settlement rights." In another part of the station, Dr. Haisu Kang worked with a team of scientists from 12 different worlds. They studied the ancient technology that the Talons had once hoarded for themselves. "We believe these artifacts are at least 50,000 years old," she explained to a group of visitors. "The civilization that created them may have spanned the entire galaxy." "Do we know what happened to them?" asked a young Talon scientist. "Not yet, but by working together, we're learning more than any one species could alone." The spirit of cooperation that had formed during the war had grown stronger in peace. Ships that once fought each other now explored together. The Asterisk New Horizon I*, the first Union exploration vessel, prepared for a mission beyond known space. Commander Ju Park would lead this mission. Her crew included humans, Vex, Luminar, and even a few Talons. They would travel farther than any of their species had gone before. "Our mission is to explore, not conquer," she told her crew as they prepared to depart. "We go as representatives of all our worlds." On Earth, a monument stood in what was once the launch site for the original New Horizon asterisk. It listed the names of all who had died in the Talon War, both human and alien. At its base was an inscription that had become the Union's motto: "No species shall limit another's potential." Sun Mu Lee, now head of the Union's engineering corps, often visited the monument. Today he found Jun Ryu there. Jun's left arm had been replaced with an artificial one after his ship was destroyed in the final battle. "I still wonder if there was a better way," Jun said, looking at the names on the wall. "Could we have avoided the war?" "The Talons gave us no choice," Sun Mu replied. "They demanded we stay caged in our solar system forever. And now their empire is ours, or rather, everyone's." It was true. What had once been Talon space was now shared by all Union species. The resources, technologies, and worlds that the Talons had claimed exclusively were used for the benefit of all. Mina Bake had returned to Nova Terra, the colony where the first alien artifacts were found. She led the science academy there, teaching students from 20 different species. "The greatest strength of any civilization," she told her class, "is not its weapons or its territory. It's the ability to learn from others and grow together." In the years since the war, human colonies had expanded to 30 worlds. Vex settlements had grown to similar numbers. The Luminar, Ithri, and even the Talons were building new homes on fresh planets. But unlike the old empire, these worlds were not conquered. They were developed together. Pilot Jaya Kwan, the hero who had disabled 3 Talon cruisers, now trained a new generation of Union pilots. Her students included beings with 4 arms, wings, or tentacles. They learned to fly together despite their differences. "5 years ago, we were enemies," she told a class that included young Talons. "Today, we fly as one fleet. Remember this when you face the unknown. There are no limits to what we can achieve together."